Hi guys, it's Olivia here from Olivia's Catastrophe, and I'm going to do my very best to communicate why you need to read A Curse So Dark and Lonely by Bridget Kemmerer when I'm already giving you 5 reasons to do so. So what is this book about? This is a Beauty and the Beast retelling where Harper, the main character, has cerebral palsy and she gets swept away into this magical land. She needs to try and break this curse, which is a curse so dark and lonely where the Beast character, Ren, turns into a monster at the end of every month, which is very dangerous, and his kingdom is falling apart. Doesn't that sound like every single Beauty Beast retelling you've read ever? Yes, it does. Well, I have to tell you that this is going to be the best one that you've read ever, so you definitely need to read it. The first reason you're going to want to read this book is because it is so realistic and it is so unpredictable, and that is the plot. It's very, very realistic. Harper is a character who takes no nonsense. She figures things out. I think every Beauty and the Beast retelling I've read seems unrealistic in comparison to how quick Harper is at getting things and how much she does the most obvious thing that you would expect to do. And as well as that, it's unpredictable. The pacing in this book is so fast. There's always something happening, but you're never entirely lost in the book. And it's unpredictable. I couldn't predict how it's going to end. You can't predict how it's going to end. It has more than one climax. Who wouldn't be happy with that? This book is fantastic. Then we need to talk about the humour and the romance. Yes, I'm putting two things into the second reason. So in this book, the humour is on point. There are moments where the characters are sarcastic. There are moments when they are witty. There are moments when they're so blatant that it becomes funny. It made me laugh more than once, and I love to laugh when I'm reading, and I find that very hard to find sometimes. So I really enjoyed laughing at this book. And then when I talk about the romance, I'm not going to tell you how it ends, but I thought the romance in a Beauty and Beast retelling kind of form was very realistic for how it would be like to fall in love in this kind of story. It's not very well explained. You'll have to read it to find out. Then we need to talk about the world and all the things that happen in it. The world building in this one is really, really good. I remember I was buddy reading this with Jade, and at the beginning I was like, oh, I feel like we might not get a lot of world building. Boy, I was wrong. We get all the world building in this one. They don't limit themselves to the castle as half of the Beauty and the Beast retelling seem to do for like the majority of the story. But no, in this one we get to explore the world. I loved exploring Emberfall. The world building was so good, but as well as that you get a little hint of strategy that needs to be used in this book, of politics that needs to be unraveled and dealt with in this book. Not a hint of it, quite a lot actually. And I really enjoyed that because I love a little smithering of politics in my books and strategy planning and all of that. I loved it. Oh my gosh, I just love this book. We have to talk about the characters. So I feel like saying there's 3 main characters in this one. You can argue with me on that. Maybe you think there's 2, but there are only 2 perspectives you read, and that is Harper and that is Ren. They are the Beast and the Beauty. Ren is so like sweet. He's doing his best. He really focuses on his failures and tends to hyper focus on those, and that is something I think a lot of people can relate to, and I feel like he develops so much throughout this book, from the beginning to the end, but also from his backstory to where he gets by the end of the book. Then we also have to talk about Harper. She has cerebral palsy. As far as I can tell, the representation seemed to be really well done, but in no way is she a weak character, and even though she's a strong character, she has her own personality. We do get to see things that she likes doing and doesn't like doing, and I usually struggle to enjoy the main characters because they seem to be so generalized and they don't seem to have anything that makes them personally people who are unique, but Harper and Ren both have that, and for main characters I really, really like them. However, I have to say the character that stole the show for me was Grey, the commander. I did a blog post, I'll link it down below, on all my favourite traits of characters that I tend to love, and he hits almost all of them. He is loyal, he is practical, he is always on guard, you know, he's a guard so that makes sense, and he is just really dedicated to his friendships and his job. What can I say about Grey that won't lead to intense fangirling? And last but not least, the 5th reason why you need to read this one is Lilith the villain. So when I was talking to Jade and discussing this book, we talked about how in the original Beauty and the Beast retelling, the Enchantress is kind of the mean one in the story because the Beast kind of does something that's not too bad, and then she does this huge punishment and gives the Beast this huge punishment that not only curses him but curses all the people in the castle as well. However, Lilith in this one is a bit different. She is given enough backstory for us to maybe not sympathize with her, but also like sympathize with her. You can understand why she does what she does. We can understand that she's not in the right when she's doing all of the things that she's doing, and she seems really twisted, and she is honestly so evil. Like, I'm scared of Queen Lavanna, but if her and Queen Lavanna were in a fight, I don't really know who would win, and that chills me to the bone. So Lilith was a brilliant villain. I believed her. We got to see her evil rather than just being told about it, so I really felt like she was an evil character, and she was in it just enough for me to, yeah, get the chills every time she appeared on page. So those are 5 reasons why you could read this book and why you should read this book. Please read this book. I could go on and on with more and more reasons, but you'd get bored and you'd get annoyed at me, but I would still be happy. But either way, I am crying and waiting for the sequel, and I hope that you will read this one and love it too, and then come and talk to me about it so we can all fangirl together. I'll end the video here. Thank you so much for watching this book review. Please let me know in the comment section down below if you've read A Curse So Dark and Lonely, or what is one of your favourite retellings that you've ever read. Please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, hit the subscribe button if you want to see more, and don't you forget to hit that notification bell to be updated every time I have a new video, and I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye!